10 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 5 seconds remaining.
Brood mother.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Summit for Europe action. Team Secret versus Empire. Secret taking game 1 in an 80-minute affair. Lyrical, it's time for game 2. And you've got a big kind of oh no kind of grin on your face.
I'm excited. I am honestly completely and totally excited about this one. Got some interesting picks here.
Let's look at them. It's a fantastic opening from Team Secret. No more Veno Naga. Ugh. Meepo Broodmother.
Meepo Broodmother. Couldn't have asked for anything better. I am actually really excited to see We Hot play this Meepo right here. Broodmother as well, always a super... I feel like it's one of those heroes that creates a ton of action in the early game. You always have to be on your guard, being able to have some type of idea of where this hero is, and if you don't, you're just going to end up getting torn apart and eaten up by Big Mama's house, Miss Broodmother.
And the secret really is out, because it felt like Meepo was this pick that they were kind of keeping hidden and not trying to use except when they really needed. ESL 1, initially they didn't pull it out. Game 2, I think it was against Fnatic, where they first used it as like a 4th, 5th pick, and now it's just first pick material for them. And very much a hero which seems to be a bread and butter secret pick. They just didn't want other teams knowing how much they could do with it. And well, it was first banned in game 1. Now it's first picked, well, first 2 picked, I guess, with the Brood, and we're seeing a new metagame being developed by Secret.
And the thing that I'm really curious to see how they do is that when you pick this Meepo so early, it does give the enemy team the possibility to really be able to counter you. And I'm wondering what way they're going to opt to try and do that. Obviously, AoE damage can be really important, but also the ability to burst somebody down. A la, the possibility of having a Sven in there and maybe a Lina or something else like that. Some combination of heroes to really disrupt and destroy your ability to play the Meepo. But again, a lot of those big spells, the big counters to Meepo rely upon you getting levels, rely upon you getting certain items, and if you're not able to get those, he's just going to run all over you.
Well, and then the Wyvern, I guess, the first little answer for that bit of AoE, but not bad against Brood. Similarly, Meepo, the Winter's Curse, especially good against Meepo, I would say. If he's the one jumping on you and just playing the aggressive, sometimes you just can't get it out in time. And that's where I feel like a Meepo is not going to engage until Wyvern has used the ultimate or is taken out of the picture. And to see what Empire have in mind as far as the Broodmother counter, because they have committed to a Doom, but I don't feel like that's a big commitment because Doom is very flexible with which lane he's going to go to.
Certainly, yeah, and he can go wherever the heck he wants. And honestly, I think that the other thing about this is that when you get a Meepo pick like this, you've got the possibility to eventually work your way into a Sheep Stick and a Blink Dagger, and once that happens, I don't really think that a Winter Wyvern alone is going to be able to really contest this. And the other problem here is that if you've got this hero that's creating so much space around the rest of the map, that is going to allow your Broodmother to just push on in that bottom lane and tear it apart. And the Io picked up. Really? This is very interesting.
Not a hero who synergizes wonderfully with Meepo or really at all, but one of the better heroes for stacking your own jungle. You can chop down those trees, and being on the dire side, you want to always create those stacks from Meepo to accelerate that Aghanim's timing. That's one of the most important things. Whether you've got a support stacking or not, Meepo will then go and stack himself. You look at like the best Meepo players in pub games and Pro Dota in the case of Weeha, stacks is just essential for playing this hero. Otherwise, your Ag's timing just comes a bit too late, and you don't snowball as hard as you need to. So, good hero from that perspective, and I think just a nice defensive support they feel like can be used against Doom as well. Someone gets doomed, you relocate them out, you get them back to the Fountain, then you can take them back in if you feel like they're ready in fighting shape. So.
Well, and likewise, if you do have a Meepo that drops pretty low, you've got the possibility to relocate that one Meepo out and then poof the rest of them away, which isn't something that I don't think I've ever seen before, but is a possibility there, and Earthshaker is going to be the pick. Another hero that can punish that AoE quite significantly. I think that it requires a little bit of setup to some extent because you're not going to be running those Meepos there right in the middle of the way. What the hell is this draft? We got a Necrophos coming out as well from Secret. Yep. Very interesting.
It's the Envy hero. I think they did the Necrophos one of the games they picked the Meepo, and Envy played quite a lot of Necrophos during that ESL 1 tournament in New York, so we'll see it.
You know, I'll mention, he actually, I looked up the stats for it earlier, and he is 2-0 on this hero in this patch. Everybody else that plays professional Dota, 0-7.
Well, both those games were ESL 1, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a nice hero to back up a Meepo, because you've got the AoE heal. Likely to see a mech on the Necrophos or possibly an IO, but I think more likely the Necrophos. And they've just got great protection for the Meepo. Even the Brood doesn't directly protect the Meepo, but creates space for him. And Empire for now looking to out-teamfight Secret with these picks, which is something where Secret, they've got the split push. They can just spread out their army. The Brood split pushing one lane, Meepo good split pusher as well. IO with that global presence in theory as well, but fighting into Earthshaker, Winter's Curse, Disruptor Ultimate is just not really on the cards for Team Secret unless they get really far ahead.
Yeah, I think that is still going to be that's not going to be really holding them back a ton, though, because you've got the possibility to split push, as we mentioned, and the fact that I think that Meepo is probably going to build into a quick blink dagger, you can potentially, if you wanted to, like, IO relocate in Necrophos and jump on top of somebody, get a Reaper Scythe out, and really shut down potentially the safe lane farmer, who I don't think that we've seen yet. I'm imagining, well, actually, this is going to be an off-lane Earthshaker, then, and a safe lane Doom? Is that what that looks like?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't like the support Earthshaker against Brood. I think Brood destroys Earthshaker in lane because, Echo Slam. Oh, there's always the possibility of Blink Echoes against Brood, but that doesn't come online until 20 plus minutes in the game, especially as a support Earthshaker. And Fissure and Earthshaker as a melee support is awful against Brood. So when I saw the Earthshaker pick, very much mine, I'm thinking, it probably want to run this Earthshaker as a core, if possible. Does lock up their lanes unless we see something really weird like a Doom mid. Earthshaker mid, kind of unheard of. It was like an old school thing that a few of the players like Korok used to do in the NA Dota scene. Does match up okay against a Meepo potentially, but more likely the standard way to play this is Earthshaker offlane, Doom safe lane.
I would be really excited to see an Earthshaker in the mid lane. That'd be pretty awesome, but probably not going to be the case, as you said. And with the Wind Ranger band out as well, not going to be thinking that that's the case either, Secret. I think the other thing about this as well is that you've got a very large potential. You mentioned the fact that the Earthshaker doesn't come online really early until you end up getting that Echo Slam up. Enchantress going to be the other ban out. Broodmother, of course, while I do like the Winter Wyvern, and I think that it helps a lot, the fact that with Cold Embrace you're stuck in one location, I feel like at that point Broodmother can kind of surround you if you're out of position. So positioning is going to be so key here for Team Empire. If they move away with either of those supports really quickly, while Glimpse is going to keep the Broodmother away, all the Spiderlings might be on top of you. Maybe going to be able to see another max of that Thunderstrike to take out those spiders? Possibility?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. It feels like Empire are kind of lacking that damage, and their last pick needs to be a hero that protects it. They've got the great team fight, plenty of control, lockdown, the silence from Disruptor, positional utility coming out from Glimpse. What's going to be the firepower for this lineup? How do they... I feel like stacking AoE damage is not how you want to play against Meepo, because it's all about killing one Meepo. You want that burst damage just to focus one single Meepo, even with the worry about a potential relocate out. AoE silence and stun is still very important because it prevents the Meepos from poofing and doing that huge burst damage. But where's the kill coming from? I feel like a Lina last pick could be a great option as a mid laner, just because you've got that burst from a Laguna Blade, and does match up pretty well in the mid lane. But
It's going to be an Earthshaker mid.
we get Sand King.
think-
Either Earthshaker or Sand King, and
Yeah.
either way I'm excited. Resolution takes Sand King, so I think that means Yoku is going mid Shaker.
Awesome. I am super excited about this one. I always like seeing Sand King in that core role, but I like it's really
great.
cool to see it, but do you think that this is going to have enough damage there to deal with it?
They have just stacked up Meepo counter after Meepo counter and thrown in some Brood counters. Sand King may be more a hero to 1v1 the Brood as well. They may look to send Sand King to the safe lane. Secret then can play that mind game where it's like, oh, you want Sand King against Brood? Let's do Brood safe lane. So we'll have to see how the lanes unravel, because if Secret want to avoid that 1v1 matchup with Brood versus Sand King, lanes could turn into
10
absolutely
seconds
anything.
remaining.
Yeah, and I'm wondering here as well, the Sand King, if you end up getting points in some
5
caustic
seconds
potentially,
remaining.
just to be able to, burn through those spiderlings, considering that if you sandstorm, a lot of vision is brought to the map anyways, generally when you're a broodmother, to make sure that you're able to spot out, any sentry wards that are being placed against you. So I'm really, really excited. I'm curious to see. I don't think this one's going to go to 80 minutes, but then again, Caster's Curse is certainly an option this time. For Empire, we're going to have Resolution is going to be playing that Sand King. Silent is going to be on the Doom. We do have Yoku, who's going to be playing that Earthshaker over there and expecting to be the mid role. Meanwhile, No Fear on the Winter Wyvern. And last but not least, Aloha Dance playing the Disruptor.
Okay, well, on the side of Team Secret, there on the die, we're going to have Jackie Eternal Envy on Necrophos, Puppy playing Treant Protector, Weeheart on the Meepo, Misery Brood, and Pylodai Io. Things looking very... normally if you saw this draft before ASO1, you'd just say, like, what the heck is going on? Right now, though, I'm mildly surprised, and definitely in a good way, but it's not really like, oh my gosh, they just picked this crazy draft. This just seems to be what Secret are going to go to now. They're doing their own thing. They're not following what other teams are doing. 6.85 is just a whole new beast for them.
For me, the Io is really the surprise pick there, and I'm assuming that the majority of the time it's going to be running with the Necro, unless... that seems to me the real way that they're going to try and do this is use the relocate ganks pretty effectively to try and take out these heroes for extended periods of time, and then take advantage of the time they're off the map to really push down towers with the Meepo, really sort of get the Brood a little bit of extra space there and pull Empire apart a little bit, because it really is that sort of big, huge team fight, group up strategy against, a essentially split push lineup.
Oh, we'll see how things develop here. Looks like Pylodai is going to be going for a bottle rush on the Io, while Puppy has picked up the boots. So when you get boots on one hero and a bottle rush on your Io, that's some value. They've Gimp not getting sentry wards, not even pulling Tangos to the mid Meepo, it looks like, and very much looking to get maximum value from the start here.
Certainly, and it's going to be it should be a little bit of an interesting first fight here. I think that probably Empire is going to have the advantage. A couple of stuns across the board. I think that, Glimpse or Kinetic, depending upon how you use it, could be good. Usually I feel like Glimpse is the option. And No Fear here as well with that Arctic Burn should be able to deal a lot of damage to these heroes.
I think Empire know they may find themselves in a fight. Yeah, they've got the Radiant Wall, which is going to see Puppy and Pi coming in, and they'll look to take this one.
Oh, Treant Protector getting a little bit caught out potentially. Yoku over here as well. Pylodai taking a good amount of damage with everything on top of him. He's actually going to be able to fall here. Doesn't get the Bounty Rune either. Earthshaker is the one that ends up picking it up. Oh, Broodmother gets the one down bot. Resolution in a little bit of trouble now. Taking some right clicks from the Meepo, and Necrophos ends up getting the last hit there with the Pulse Nova. Just continuing to chase away these.
Lose more. There's another leech seed.
Oh no, No Fear! Be afraid! He's gonna get right-click down. Treant Protector hits so hard. Maybe one more hit. Is Aloha Dance gonna be able to body block this? No. Might have stuck around a little bit too long as well. With Poof leveled up, they're not gonna be able to catch him. Are they honestly just gonna be able to right-click him? Oh, I think that there's a body block from the Meepo last second.
Yeah, a bit of a body block and Disruptor, pretty fast movement speed, 300, so... Even without the body block, it would have taken Puppy 2 right clicks, and I don't think he would have been able to get it. But for Empire, Yoku got the Bounty Rune and didn't die, so it's still okay for him. But Empire's response to the Earthshaker going mid is just to send Necro there.
Interesting.
Oh, that's
meanwhile, down bottom, Winter Wyvern.
No web. He used both of his webs at the rune and in the lane, so they just pushed him out. Didn't even have to use a dust as well. That's very surprising to see that kill happen.
I really didn't expect to see any type of kills up there. Top lane, they're just going to be able to push the Sand King out. And I think that this Necro strategy up against this Earthshaker is so smart. They're going to be able to really bully him consistently in lane. I think he's still going to get some, but could be a really tough go. And actually he's been able to get 4-1 versus the 1-1 of the Necro. I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah. I don't think it'll remain as it's not going to remain Earthshaker favor. Very much the first creep wave, but he gets a great Fissure block off here. Locks them in place, but won't see any follow-up damage.
What's an Earthshaker to do?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I've got to block them in underneath the tower, kind of, but they healing with death. You get the double death pulse heal with the Io Necrophos, which is where there's some nice synergy between these two.
Yeah, definitely. That helps a heck of a lot. And looks like we're going to have Pilot Dive move on over into the jungle in a second, probably, and try and stack this. No, just going to pick up his bottle. Be content to back away. Oh, another couple of Fissure laid down. A little bit of right click, but not a whole lot's going to be able to happen there in the mid lane for the Earthshaker.
Yoku actually got aggressive because he assumes the IO is stacking. At any time, like around the minute mark, IO is normally stacking, and I think Pi was just going to be like 2 seconds late for the stack, so he just hung around mid. Yeah. Which is an important mistiming. You don't want to miss many of those stacks because you have got Meepo and Necrophos, both heroes who can and want to farm stacks this game.
Take a look at the levels so far. Earthshaker's been able to be the top of the mark, actually, with picking up that first bounty rune. That helped a lot. Going to be able to accentuate his...
Bottom lane, they've got him with Dust. Misery in trouble.
It's going to get burned down a little bit. Arctic Burn, as well as the last bit of right clicks. No TP rotations at this point in time. Wouldn't have probably been able to make a whole heck of a lot of difference. And it's going to be another, not first blood, certainly, but first blood in lane. Already 5 kills at just under 3 minutes. Yeah. Oh, and chasing after this Earthshaker as well. They might be able to find him. I don't think that they're going to be able to get a kill here, probably. Going around the other direction, they're just bullying this Earthshaker in lane so hard. Phase Boot's already going to be picked up by the Doom as well. Resolution. It just feels like every lane right now you're getting bullied a little bit, except for bottom, where Misery, as soon as she starts to get a couple more of these levels on up, should be able to deal pretty effectively with, well, Scorched Earth is always going to be tough to deal with.
Yeah. And that's where I feel like Levels is not going to cut it, because if he ever gets dusted and hit by an Arctic Burn, he just dies. That last kill they got on him, Disruptor didn't even get an assist for it. But he swooped in, he got in range to get some golden XP, but it was 100% damage coming out from Wyvern and the Doom, just with Arctic Burn, Scorched Earth. If Misery ever gets dusted and hit by the Arctic Burn, he's dead. He's got to stay out of range of the Winter Wyvern.
And that's not easy to do. You get the range increase from it, and if you're going to be doing that, it's kind of tough. I would imagine that pretty soon here he's going to try and rotate into the jungle and make effective use of taking out these camps. But again, bottom lane just barely getting away. Nice Burrow strike by Resolution to make sure he doesn't end up getting taken out there. I think it's going to be tough still, though, because you do have the Disruptor over here with the Sentry Ward ready to drop it down at a moment's notice. Then you've got the rotations that could come in from the rest of your team. And if you're already slowed down a little bit, you also have Glimpse. It's just not a great lane down there. But I feel like they're still going to be able to make up for it in these other lanes here.
To some extent. Necro's caught up and overtaken Earthshaker and CS, but great rune control meant the IO didn't get any of the runes. The top rune was taken by the Earthshaker. He actually fissure blocked the river to prevent the IO Necro getting there, and then bottom rune was just taken by Disruptor. So Yoku still taking a bit of harass here at mid, but with the full bottle and with Pi's bottle being empty, he's going to be forced to bottle Crow or find other means to kind of sustain this mid lane. If anything, this lane may swing back the way of Yoku, especially if he can get a rotation, which may be the case by Resolution, who's nearby.
The one other little benefit that you do have on Envy here is that he's got 2 levels in Sadist, so he's going to be able to get at least a little bit of regeneration off of it. It's not super substantial, but maybe it's going to be able to allow him to stay around in lane a little bit longer. Tough to tell, though.
And I like that he's not gone for the Heartstopper this lane. You can't really get as much damage off. There's no potential to chase in the mid lane with how close the towers are, so you get a lot more from this Sadist plus Death Pulse build than you would from the single point in Heartstopper, even if it is a value point.
Down bot, Silent taking a little bit of harassment, but this, oh god, Misery's in trouble right now. Ends up getting hit by the Splinter Blast and just overextending, overplaying the hand.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Having a sentry and the dust. I think he knew there was dust in the lane, probably didn't respect the fact there was a sentry as well. He's still getting levels out of this lane. It's one of the things I remember seeing Misery even talk about at one of his Brood games on the panel at ESL1, where he died 3 times in the first 10 minutes, or even like the first 6 or 7 minutes, and then ended up having a big game regardless. And
Up by the top rune. That's going to be an Echo Slam used. They're trying to get this bounty rune, the rune on the Io. Ends up getting Burrow Strike. Sand King's going to end up getting. Might cost Aloha Dance his life, though. Another glimpse back. Weeha's here as well. He's going to be able to potentially toss on out a net. Not really a long distance. Aloha Dance does fall, but so many heroes rotating right now for Secret. Kind of wonder if it's worth it based upon the farm that you're missing out up top.
It works out okay for them, I think. They got the kill and they didn't give anything up, so from that point of view, Empire also committed heroes. They brought in Disruptor, Earthshaker, and Sand King. Only the Doom, Wyvern duo staying at bottom lane, but gives Misery a tiny bit of breathing room not having the Disruptor down there, although they haven't really needed him. But to go back to what Misery was saying, very much he feels like he dies 2-3 times in the first stage of the game, the laning stage, but gets levels out of the lane, he can still have a high impact, and that's exactly what happened in that one Brood game. He was 0-3 at 6 to 8 minutes in the game, and then turned it around and ended up going like 10-4 or something, and had huge farms. So this is not like Misery's game ruined by having this bad start by any means.
Certainly, and Meepo now is starting to be able to get the stacks up as well. I think that that's really a key component, is that once the Meepo starts to come online and clear out these stacks and finish them off, you're going to be able to get into a situation where you force people to rotate to the other lanes, like the Disruptor did, and then eventually the Winter Wyvern as well. And then if it's just solo Brood against Doom, well, Doom is ridiculous in terms of the amount of damage he deals with Scorched Earth. I think that you can maybe burst him down if you get one more rotation, potentially, or an IO relocate.
Oh, bottom lane, they've got Misery.
Oh, no. Frustrating. Pilot Eye trying to keep him alive. Oh, Overcharge, not quite there. Doom on top of the IO as well. That's with Overcharge on, so he's going to keep on taking some damage there. It looks like the Spiders are going to chase down this Winter Wyvern and be able to take her on out there in conjunction with the Sand King. I think that that was with Overcharge on. Yeah, and the Deny comes on out from Treant Protector.
Good move, just go for the Deny and then get the return kill on Wyvern, so at least a return kill, ultimately still a good trade for Empire, getting the core hero in the Brood and forcing an IO to be denied, although the golden XP doesn't go the way of Doom, unfortunately. But Doom silent with Phase and Drums now coming out. I like the Drums pick up this game, just having that extra movement speed burst can really give him a lot of kill potential. Phase Drums with the Alpha Wolf Devoured is just an insane amount of fighting potential at this stage of the game.
The right click is too strong. The rotation is here as well, though, but it looks like they're not going to be able to do it. It's too hard to dive.
That's like 800 heal or something ridiculous. It's good luck killing him.
I mean, they had 3 heroes down there. With the Cold Embrace also on hand, it just is so difficult to deal with that. And looks like Sand King here is going to be able to take on out these stacks, despite Puppy's frustration with the fact.
That was a bit rude of Puppy, coming in and taking one.
Yeah, man. It's not very kind.
No. Drops a sentry and...
Yeah, just walks on out mid lane. Nothing actually going to happen. It's an Earthshaker. He needs another person there to be able to actually make something happy. Puppy is scouting this out, though. It looks like they might be potentially ready for initiation, canceling his auto attack. Io's in the area as well. TP's coming in from Disruptor. They want to go on this Necrophos here. He's going to get glimpsed back in just a second, I do believe, maybe. Static Storm just dropped right on top of him. Io didn't want to stay out of there if at all possible. He's fallen low. That's going to end up being a kill. Echo Slam to finish him off. And now we're also going to see the Io die as well. Do we have anything else to be able to take out Puppy here? I think that they might have enough. Winter's Curse dropped. And as well... Oh, glimpse back. All right, I was like, where did he go? The Thunder Strike, everything else, he's dead. Earthshaker gets the kill with the Fissure.
Not the most well-coordinated kill on Puppy, but still a 3 for nothing, and just a bit of miscommunication with the glimpse coming and the wind. They didn't need the Winter's Curse because they had the glimpse, but I think Wyvern didn't quite realize they had him caught anyways. And
Silent just killed like 13 Spiders down in the bot lane with the Scorched Earth just running around after the Brood.
You know, New Doom can actually lane against Brood, I guess, now, with that little bit of help at the start. He doesn't need the help anymore. He can deal with a big Spiderling army just fine. And even if Brood says, okay, I'm not going to feed you spiders, I'm just going to spam Soul Ring plus Nuke on you, he can heal himself back up using the Scorched Earth as well. And
then you're kind of expanding mana, which is not something that's... I mean, with the Soul Ring, it makes it okay, but it's still something that Brood's definitely lacking. And at this point, the tower hasn't taken one right click, I don't think, on the bottom lane, which is not what you want to have happen for the Brood Mother. It does look like they wanted to come and try and correct this, though. Necrophos is coming down, does have the Reaper Scythe, and you kind of get the feeling that as soon as this Doom falls, you're also going to see that tier 1 tower fall pretty shortly thereafter.
They've also brought Meepo here. One of his illusions. He's farming the top lane with his main one, trying to farm the Ags, but has an illusion down bottom for the fight.
All right, here we go. Jumping forward. Doesn't end up being snare. But this is going to be a Reaper Scythe. Oh my god, that did no freaking damage. Silent just going to be able to turn around onto this. Doomed up the Meepo. Is that an illusion, though? No, that's a real guy coming on out. Catching on top of Misery. Brood falls yet again. Weehan a little bit of trouble now. Is going to continue to get bursted down. If he falls, it's going to be terrible. Trying to kill him out one more time. Doom, oh, run last right click. That's going to be enough. Triple kill for the Doom. Might be a fourth one in the works as well. Jackie Mao falls down. Ultra kill at 11 minutes for the Doom. Sand King, regeneration or not, it doesn't even matter. Ooh,
11-minute ultra kill for Doom. Phase drums, crit, easy. And that all started from that mist and snare.
He has 3,200 gold on him right now. Earthshaker, meanwhile, is well able to kill out the IO in the mid lane. Not going to die to the tower here.
If they hit that ensnare, they kill. Two poofs come in. Second ensnare, third ensnare, Reaper side. You've killed Doom, and he's dead for the bonus time because of the Reaper side. And suddenly, Secret is looking really good. Instead, ultra kill goes Doom's way. Small little thing, just making such a world of difference. And that for a second I thought it was maybe a low level ensnare, but he did have level 3 ensnare. Yeah. He had the range. It was just slightly off. Maybe he was expecting Reaper to be used to set up the ensnare, because it wasn't even about getting a Reaper kill. It was just about ensuring the kill. So they just didn't have the necessary initiation unless they committed the Reaper, which I don't think MB wanted to do.
Oh, Puppey is going to end up taking a good amount of damage here. Is he going to be able to get away Echo Slams to finish him off? Had no vision there, so why not?
That's the Blink Dagger for Yoku now.
Jeez, they've got everything that they want right now. Vlad's is going to be picked up as well on the Doom. I think it did already get picked up and might just being brought out to him. And, I mean, you take a look at the net worth lead across the whole game. It's a 7,500 net worth lead at 12 minutes into it. EXP about 4K as well. And I kind of feel like with Secret's draft, not necessarily that they want to get out to a really early start, but it does rely upon them accelerating as you move closer to the mid game, and it's going to be really hard to do that when you're dropping towers so quickly. Necrophos, bold as brass, just moving up towards that tier 1 tower, ready to right-click the range creep, but might be overstaying his welcome a little bit. We do have the Arctic Burn as well as Winter's Curse. He's just falling down pretty low. The TPs are coming out, maybe going to be able to make something happen, but it's only a Treant Protector. They might
use a Pilot Dive, forced to relocate. He just was trying to use a defensive relocate to help Jackie out if they jumped him, which seemed to be what they thought was going on. No Doom up top lane, which means for Empire they're missing their most farmed and high impact hero, but the tier 1 tower available means he can TP in and look to join them fairly soon. Problem is, if you TP in, you expose this bottom lane for Brood.
Oh, Static Storm doesn't end up connecting though, unfortunately, but it's not going to matter anyways. Io's going to end up falling here in just a second. No, staying alive somehow. Meanwhile, up in the top, we do see the Winter's Curse out on top of us. He is actually surviving throughout this as well. Oh god, the Reaper Scythe almost taken out Yoku. It looks like he's actually going to be able to make his way out of here. Are you kidding me, Jukes? What is Dota? What is life? He is able to kill the Earthshaker in the end. Still ends up dying, and meanwhile, down in the over here to the other side, Dance gets the double kill off onto the Meepo.
Meepo down, Necro down, the two most important heroes down. And Earthshaker dying, he's just got his blink. While this is a mid shaker, it doesn't really feel like he's playing that like mid SF, TA type role, Queen of Pain, whatever it may be. This is an Earthshaker who's just going to be more, probably transition more into that utility initiator type role. They've got two of, they've also got the Sand King, but the damage is coming from the Doom, the Disruptor, and they're going to be the heroes who are going to be looking to kind of make all the more flashy plays this game.
I will say I like his skill build a lot, going for those points in the Enchant Totem and then going for max Aftershock afterwards. Yeah. It's going to really be able to get some of that burst damage out that we were talking about, and while it's not incredibly substantial, I mean 400%, ain't nothing to sneeze at. Should be able to do a good amount of that. Puppey as well, he's been relatively underfarmed, and you'd love to be able to see some more of the other nice part about this is with the Treant Protector armor, they're able to keep them off of their towers a little bit more effectively, so that helps. And Misery was able to take down the tier 1 tower while that other team fight was going on.
It was denied by Doom, actually denied it and then TP top immediately after denying it. So it was like a cheeky play, like, I know you want to push this tower, I'm gonna deny it and then immediately TP out, and it took him a long time to push the tier 2.
Right. Yeah, certainly, and it looks like in the meantime we're gonna Empire pushing on out this tier 1 as well. This is Empire's really come back strong after that last game, and they're having none of it. I think that they've been able to deal with this Meepo pretty well. He hasn't really been scary as heck.
He's been very prioritizing he's entirely been prioritizing farm in the Ag Scepter, which is not up 15 minutes in. This is on the slow side as far as Ag Scepters for Meepo go, and part of that is because he was in the safe lane, didn't have that solo lane mid where he could just spam out the mid lane and then fall back to your jungle. His jungle has been taken over by Empire as well, which is probably the more important thing to note. So he hasn't had any access to his own jungle, which is where he just spent time in the enemy jungle to try and get some farm.
Sand King gets the kill there with the Sandstorm and Burrow Strike. Goodness gracious.
There's no way for Meepo to farm. He doesn't feel safe in his jungle. If he goes in the enemy jungle, he takes out one camp, and then he's like, okay, I got to get the hell out now.
They do end up spotting out over here as well. Like, and they're all trying to find farm wherever they can, but Empire's
He's hunting with his one of his illusions constantly. He wants to send one illusion with his team because he's going to get a huge amount of farm from these kills. Wow, Silence just diving towers on his own.
He does not even care. He is way the heck. One more right click, and that's going to probably have to be a deny potentially. We'll see. He's
barely. 50 HP.
Just barely getting out of there. Didn't want to push it too far, but I just looked up and all of a sudden he was doomed behind the tier 2. The heck?
That's some confidence from Silent.
Oh, and 1,600 gold in the bank. Shadow Blade, Vlad's. He's got phase boots, drums. He is not afraid.
They've the blinks on both Sand King and Earthshaker now, so they've got that great. If Doom goes diving like that, and these heroes are anywhere nearby, they can follow him up with those blink daggers. Should some kind of secret counter initiation go, and that's where Meepo is not really in a position to counter initiate because he'll be met by chain stuns from Burrow Strike, Totem, as well as Fissure, and the Aftershock being leveled up is another great way of just getting that good chain stun coming out from all your spells.
Definitely. Meepo now getting 33% stronger, I believe, or something like that, based upon the math. I'm so great at it.
17%.
17% stronger, and you end up getting the Aegis up on the Doom. This is going to be really terrifying here. I mean, while the Ags helps a lot in terms of your damage output, being able to toss out those extra poofs, everything else in conjunction with it, you've got this like ridiculously strong team fight component. You're not really split pushing as effectively as you'd want. Like, you're maybe going to be able to take down the tier 1 tower here, but it looks like they could potentially mount a defense if they want to, considering we've got Winter Wyvern up with Winter's Curse, getting ready to get in a position. TPs are about to come as well, I'm sure. Meepo, stop hitting yourself. Oh, Sand King is here as well. Burrow Strike coming down one time again, and there is going to be the kill. Very nicely done. Earthshaker ends up getting the last hit. Meanwhile, in the mid lane as well, that's going to be a Doom on top of Puppey. Getting glimpsed back yet again. Is going to get one more right click here to the side. And there's a Static Storm onto 2, but it's not really going to be able to follow up with a Kinetic Field. They're tearing apart that IO. Oh, Jackie Mao, why? That's another right click. Triple kill for Silent. Just disgusting amounts of damage.
In a normal game, when you TP rotate 3 heroes to get that pick up top, those 2 heroes who are left mid are exposed and are gone. They're done for. Like, okay, you left 2 heroes behind. That's Secret's counterplay. Okay, you kill our Meepo, we kill your Doom and +1 who's still mid. We kill your Doom Disruptor, but Doom is so strong, and he has an Aegis as well, that there is no counterplay for Secret there. They lose the Meepo who's making the right play split pushing, and then they can't even fight 4v2 in mid. Empire win that 2v4, and they're going to lose their mid lane at Rax, it looks like. This may just be an early GG.
Jeez.
From 80 minutes to 18.
This is going to be a tier 3 gone. No, Meepo poof on in, but I don't think he has enough damage to take down this Doom. Even if he does, Aegis is there as well. Echo Slam goes down. Reap of Sight not going to be able to kill No Fear, taking a heck of a lot of damage. Doom ends up killing him. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Jackie's staying alive somehow. Meanwhile, the Broodmother able to take down the tier 2 tower, but is it the same as a Rax? I don't think so. They're trying to burn him down here, just continuing to tear apart this team. Fissure down on top of Envy. One more time, right click. That's going to be the Enchant Totem hit. Meepo is back in the game yet again. Necrophos is buying back, trying to stem the bleeding that's coming out from here. And Meepo's going to end up dying yet again, probably. Oh, Splinter Blast staying alive. Silent, he's going to come back in a second as well, dodging away from those nets. There's finally the Aegis burned.
And they kill him again. Meepos need to start chain and snaring this, and oh, he's got Doom, of course.
Yeah, he's just going to be able to continue to fight.
Vlad, he's trying to fight his way out.
Is he actually going to be able to walk away from it?
They're missing some ensnares. Oh, okay.
No. 1,400 gold going the way of the IO, because he was the one that got the right click.
No. That's where Meepo would have had a blink dagger off of that. His buyback penalty had worn off as well, so he would have gotten the full gold for that kill. And that would have been blink, but he's still going to go right into some farm, but definitely not the hero you want to get that kill on.
Meanwhile, down in the bot lane, Resolution as well as Aloha Dance able to kill on off the Broodmother.
It's the right time to pick up this gem and go hunting.
I will also say that currently Doom is sitting on just under 5,000 gold, just in the bank, just chilling, hanging out.
Probably BKB this game is really good against all these heroes. Meepo, I'd say, especially this stage, Meepo's not right-clicking. Like late game, BKB doesn't help because he's going to have a lot of stats agi and just right-clicks you down, but we're at the stage where it's all about the ensnare and the stacking poofs, the necro damage, so
It does still pose a problem with the Geostrike, the slow that comes out from
Yeah.
it, but I don't think that he really cares. Like, he can just stand there and continue to regen off of it.
He's gone Shivers though. He picked up the recipe at least, so
Yeah.
looks like we'll see Shivers as his next item.
God, really making it work. Earthshaker mid. I mean, I think mainly what this came down to, as far as why Empire's been able to build such a lead, was because of the Doom being able to pick off some of those spiders there. I mean, I guess the ultra kill 10 minutes ago is pretty helpful as well. But it's just they've looked so solid in terms of their rotations.
Aloha Dan Paxi gonna survive? They think he's in the trees!
Oh.
He's juked them so hard without even realizing it. He's gonna realize it now because the creep is there.
Oh, spotting Weehaw. I'm just gonna toss a cheeky little thunder.
I'm just watching like, oh man, they're gonna find Aloha Dance. It's not really gonna matter because it's a disruptor.
Here's Curse on top of Weehaw. He's hitting himself yet again. Actually kept out from the kinetic field. There's the defensive relocate. Turn it around yet again. Doom is going to be able to maybe kill him right here. That's the kill on the Meepo. He's going down. Maybe going to be able to have more. The other thing is IO relocating back behind the fight. This is about to be a kill here in a second for Silent. 1, 2, 3. That is going to be a right click down dead. Resolution doesn't connect on the Burrow Strike, but they're still going to bring on back Jackie. GG, well played. Ends up getting called 31-8 and a 22-minute GG.
Absolute rout from Empire. Great way of just punishing the lanes. It's one of those games where I feel like Brood did cost them dying as many times as they did in the early game because there wasn't enough space being created. And like in the past when Misery's had that slow start, he's been able to catch up because the game has dragged on. But Empire were so good at pushing forward, ending the game fast. They took a 15-16 minute Roshan and then we're like, cool, let's go high ground now.